What's up, guys? I hope you enjoyed part 1 of this series, and if you haven't watched it yet, go back to my last video and it's part 1 on what to know before you compete, and this will be part 2. This is just a little intro, and then I'll also do outro. You know the drill. So this one talks about money and a few other things. Siri thinks I'm talking to her. I hope this helps some, so enjoy it. But before you get started, My Protein is having lots of deals per usual, so you can go to the link in the description box and grab some stuff. But clothing is 60% off, and you guys see me wearing it all the time. Also pills and aminos, and like there's always a deal on protein, so go grab it. And for IFIM apparel, which this is shot in their headquarters, I now have a code and it is Senior, and you get 15% off. If you're wondering why my code is Senior, just keep wondering, because sometimes I don't even know. So enjoy this video. I'll see you at the end. Like stress and just knowing what's going on in your life is not everyone understands prep or bodybuilding, so it can put a strain on a lot of relationships, and that can cause more stress. And not just stress, but it's just hard to live your life that way. Unless every single one of your friends is a bodybuilder who competes, like, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy going to visit your family and them asking you why you can't eat fruit because that's even healthy, or why you can't eat the meal that they prepared. Like, it's not easy. Not everyone understands. Not everyone's going to be supportive. In fact, people can be very mean to you about it. And just, it's not, even though competing is becoming more mainstream, it's not actually mainstream. Like, bodybuilders are such a small portion, and bodybuilders who compete are an even smaller portion of the world. So you're in this fitness Instagram world where you see everyone competing, but like, that's not real life. Not everyone knows. Like, my parents still don't even completely understand what it is. They know that I have to eat less food, they know that I have to train, and they know like about it, but they don't fully understand. They don't understand why I have to take my food scale to go out to eat, or why I need to prep all my meals. Like, people can be mean to you about it. You don't have to, but it is a thing that happened to me, that I became very less present in people in my life. Like, I didn't hang out with as many people because I had to work on myself, and like, I knew hanging out with people would like be hard for me, so I just secluded myself in my room. It's not with that. A lot of people try to stay social all through prep, but personally I did not, and that put a strain on a lot of my relationships.
Yeah, so it depends on the people you have in your life too, and you really have to be self-aware going before you get to prep, because if you're not, by the time you're in prep, you're screwed. So you can't expect other people to understand what you're doing. Like, if you have that expectation, you're setting yourself up for failure with those relationships, because if you expect them to know and understand when they're not even part of it, then they're gonna let you down, because you're setting a bar for them that they're not gonna reach. So if you know that they have no interest in fitness or anything, then just don't even talk about prep with them, because it's going to stress you out, and it's going to stress them out, because they don't understand, and they don't want to understand a lot of times, because it's not something they take interest in. There's just no need for added stress with that. So if you want to work on those relationships, then that's fine, but keep it separate from prep if you can handle that. If you know you can't handle them, then don't do it.
And like I said at the beginning of this video, like, this is not to discourage you from prep. It's just to bring to your mind like things that happen that I wasn't aware of. I wasn't aware that it was going to be like that. I truthfully saw people on Instagram and thought, I want to do that. Now I'm very glad I did it, and I learned a lot about myself, about my body, about everything, and I love it, and that's why I'm going to do another show. But like, you need to know these things before you go into it. I like to know everything I can about something before I dive into it, and so it's important to know what you need to put into it, what are possible things that can happen, and decide from there, and decide for yourself, instead of because that's what other people expect of you, or that's what you expect of yourself. Another big thing we talked about was money. It's so expensive to compete. Like, stupid expensive.
Yeah.
Like, first time especially is the most expensive.
Right.
But even from there, it's still so expensive. Like, I watched a video and someone was like $1,500. I would say like it's more than that with everything loaded in, because like the special food you have to buy, like the travel costs, the buying meal prep bags to be able to hold that food. Like people don't tell you about that, but like having to take your food everywhere with you, and like making sure you have the right food all the time. But your suit is one of the biggest hits, and it hurts. Even if you rent, even if you do anything, it hurts. It's just expensive. Like and not to make anyone feel bad about like the suit that they buy, but the suit I bought was $350. And one of the judges' first comment to me after working 16 weeks so hard for my body was that my suit wasn't good enough. They said it didn't have enough bling on it, and they said that I didn't have enough jewelry and that it didn't look good on stage. So I spent $350 and 16 weeks, and their first comment to me wasn't about my physique, it was about my jewelry and my suit.
Yeah, so that's another thing with judges. This is why, like, yes, the stage moment is important, but you really can't like take this personally. Is that some judges want you to wear the bare minimum of jewelry. They only want you to wear one bracelet, one ring, simple pair of earrings.
I got yelled at for my bracelets being different sizes. They told me one had one more row of jewels, and they noticed it. They were like, either make your bracelets the same size or don't wear them. I was like, okay.
Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate.
Truth.
But judges do want different things at different shows. I don't know really how to combat that, but some judges want you to have a more defined back. So I mean, it's just difference of like. Right. So like not everyone's gonna like the same thing.
Sometimes they want you to move your hair in the back pose so they see your upper body and like your balance. Sometimes they don't want to see that at all because they want to see more of a curvature, and they just want to make sure that you have the X frame.
I even got told, so I have short hair, and like almost everyone who competes has long hair or hair extensions, but I couldn't afford hair extensions because I'd already spent so much money, and I got a comment about my hair, about it not being long. Because bikini is about the glitz and glamour more so than figure or physique. And so the jewelry costs money. You have to buy special shoes that look like stripper heels. You have to, they are stripper heels. Your suit, your tan is another.
It's like 150 bucks.
150 to 300. Mine was like 200, 250.
Really? Yeah, so it depends on the show. Most shows have a tanning sponsor that you have to go through because and you should. Do
always
not
go through the tanning sponsor.
Let's say, even if you don't like the tan that you get from the sponsor, let's say it's a mahogany, like a reddish tan, and you show up from another tan and it looks great, but it's a golden tan, you're gonna stick out in the worst way on stage. You don't want that.
I saw a girl post that she got her tan, or something happened with her tan, and she was a different tint than everyone else, and she got a worse placing, and the judges straight up told her that your physique was going to place second, but you got fourth.
Yeah.
So
you don't want little things like that you can avoid. I mean, because you still, I know, like we keep talking about how like the stage moment isn't a big thing, but obviously everybody wants to win, everybody wants to place well. So like little things.
I'm not
gonna
sit here and be like, yo, I just spent 20 weeks dieting, but that's fine if I get last place. It's cool. Like it's not cool, but it shouldn't be what brings you down or makes you feel bad about your physique because you worked hard for that. Yes. But just know it is very expensive. You have to pay for the show, you have to pay for your NPC card or whatever federation you're in, which is expensive, and you have to get it every year. So if you plan to compete, I did not know this, but you should know this. It's not a year from when you buy it, it's a calendar year.
Yeah.
So like from like January to January. So if you're gonna compete in December, like
it's gone.
Then it's gone. If you're competing like December 20th, but you have another show January, you have to pay for another NPC card or whatever federation you are.
Yes. And then there's the show registration fee, which is usually like $100 to $200.
And if you're going to compete in more than one division, so if you're going to compete in novice and then you're going to compete in like bikini class C, then like that's another cost. There's like a crossover fee.
If you want to do like bikini and figure and physique, whatever. Bikini and physique, I guess. There's usually like $100 extra fee for that. So then you're paying another $300 total to just be in the show. When you've already paid $125 for your NPC card,
Already paid $200
you know,
for
however
your
much
tan,
you paid for,
already paid
the
for your
tan
suit,
and
your
your
shoes,
suit, like,
and your jewelry.
You can save in certain ways here and there, like makeup. Like, you don't have to pay to get your makeup done if you're good at it, or if you
practice it beforehand.
Please. Stage makeup is so different from everyday makeup. So even if you think you know how to do it, watch a tutorial if you have to, or have someone teach you. Just that can be a make or break too, because if you look like you have no eyes on stage, it's just black holes.
Or your eyelashes are too big and it casts a shadow on your face.
Yes. So you don't want that. So like you want that to be perfect too. No, that's another thing. So if you know you can't do that on your own, hair and makeup, people spend like $400 total to do that. And if it's a 2-day show, you're paying that
get
twice.
it again.
So for me, I taught myself how to do the makeup. I practiced like 3 times leading up into my show, and I got compliments on my makeup the day of, and I had a 2-day show. I was like, I'm not gonna pay for makeup twice. And I did my own hair. So that's where I saved money, and I rented a suit, which especially for, I do physique. Figure and physique suits are the same. They're completely blinged out. So like bikini, you can get away with a little less bling if you say like get a sequin suit with some bling on it. So those will like price it down. But for figure and physique, you're gonna pay at least $450 for a suit, at bare minimum, most likely $600 or more.
Everything.
So for me, I rented, and it was $200, which is a steal.
But still expensive.
Still
like $200.
So yes.
So you can save money in ways, but sometimes like if you're going to put so much effort into something, it like I was going to try and to have something else with my tan, and someone was like, absolutely not. Like, you've worked so hard for this, and like you don't want it to come down to your tan.
Yes.
And it's very true. So I spent the extra money, but just know it's expensive.
Very.
All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that. Another expense that I talk about, I broke this into even a third part because the video is going to be 18 minutes, and like I don't want to sit and listen to myself for 18 minutes, so I made it 13 minutes plus these little talking at the end and beginning. Another cost to think about is a coach. So if you're going to be getting a coach, that is also an extra cost to go into it. And like there are just so many small things that add up. I can't even tell you how much money I spent, but it's a very big thing to be aware of, and that's another reason I personally am holding off competing. I'm not financially stable enough to compete right now, and if I were to compete, I would be stressed about money, trying to cut corners, just doing things that would impede me growing. So I will not compete in 2017. I think I have a show set up for 2018. And yeah, so don't be ashamed if you can't compete. Like it's expensive, and compete if you want to, but do not funnel all of your money into it if you know you have other things coming up. So yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for part 3, and part 4 will be recorded next weekend with Katie Ann 100 and Michelle, of course.